Hello, I am Bentham and welcome back to Factorio Railworld. We are in the Megacopper 1 base, and the reason we're here is that I'm not quite happy with the rate of copper production. We're on our way to the Midpoint base, and I've decided to stop by and add in some more mining drills, try and get things going a little bit quicker, because as you can see, there's basically no copper getting to the rear cargo wagon loaded things, and we need to fix that. Last time we were here, if I'm not really sure, the last time we were here and properly did some construction was when we originally built it. And when I originally built it, I used up all the mining drills and efficiency modules that I had handy and intended to come back later and add in more. And now I finally am. It's been a while, it's been a bit longer than I intended. And because of this, the copper supply has not been brilliant. There's not been as many circuits being made as I would like, but it's not been the worst. It's been working fine. There's plenty of mine drills going, but it is a bit difficult to have one outpost supplying the entire factory, because originally we used to have as many as 4 going at once, I think, or maybe we didn't quite have 4, but usually we've used much smaller bases. So what I've done is I've added in a new row of mining drills. It's a good place to start, and then I followed it along, standing on the belts where from the point where all of the mining drills are operating. And you can see it's now getting into the rear cargo wagons a bit, which is good. We've already made some progress, and we've now got more going than originally, because there were a couple of mining drills that have run out, which had made the production slow down a little bit more. Adding in this new column has more than compensated for that. So it's now producing better than ever, but it's not enough. We need to add in more. We want to try and get the belts being completely filled in if possible, and then that shows that the loading system is working as fast as it can. Of course, from there we could always expand the loading system. So we'll add in another column here, and we'll play it by ear. I'm using that phrase a lot recently, but I quite like it. It's just do something, see how it works, and based on that, do more stuff. That was a fairly ambiguous way of phrasing it, but basically we'll keep putting in new columns until we get the result we're looking for. So, or until we've run out of materials, which is entirely possible. We may put down as many mining drills and efficiency modules as we did when we originally built this. So put down another half of a row here, and then I just need to work out where to put the blue melts from, because there's a certain point where the belt gets too full of copper, and you have to start upgrading the belts. And I'm trying to sort of save on blue belts, because last time I was here I ran out very quickly, which is why we have the weird triple yellow belt system that actually delivers it from the end of the lines over to the loading area. As you can see, this is now almost completely full, which is a good sign. And in fact, there's a little bit of build-up on the belts. Unfortunately, I realised that because I haven't upgraded the belts, 2 of the loading inserters were not in fact operating, and once I put those in, it starts running down again. So we'll have to add in a little bit more there. But what we do is stop and watch to see how the trains load, because that's always a good way of telling how well the system works. Sometimes it can just be taking a while to fill in, when in fact it's enough for the trains. And this train actually fully loads, even in the rear cargo wagon, which is good. However, the reason for this is that the trains have sort of clumped together. That's something you often find when you pretty much always find it in a rail system, unless you've got it very carefully controlled and there's some clever system for it. You end up with multiple trains that have the same route clumping together and all arriving in one go, or it's not quite one go. Basically, one will arrive every 30 seconds because there's a 30-second loading time, and so one can't leave the station until it's been at least 30 seconds since the previous one has, because it needs to spend 30 seconds itself. I explained that badly. I sort of wave my arms around to try and help. It doesn't work because you can't see them. But we're continuing to work on it. We've added in a blue belt in the our triple belt system here to try and speed things up. Basically, we'd reached capacity, so we needed to upgrade it a bit. And it did make things build up for a second, but that was just because the blue belt was emptying out, and once it emptied out, the supply ran down again. Anyway, one of the reasons I'm here is to add in a new train. Even though we're having trouble right now with the ore loading rate, I think we need a new train anyway. So this is going to be a third train that goes between Megacopper 1 and the circuit base, delivering copper, because it's not been quite working as well as I was hoping for. I added in 2, and then over in the circuit outpost there are 2 loading bays, but it's quite rare that both of them are filled. Usually one empties and then the other train goes into that one. So by adding in a third train, I'm hoping to get all 3 loading stations being used. It may still not work like that just because of the way the trains synchronize and clump together, but we can try, and that will help with the system, because at the moment with it all going into one station, it's causing issues because that station can only unload so fast, and you need 2 stations to be unloading for it to work. Anyway, One solution to such a problem is to increase the number of loading chests, which is what I've decided to do at this end. So I've added in another 4 on each side, so it's 140% of the speed it was running before, assuming, of course, the all the inserters are actually running, which they're not. But we can hope, and we can make space for such an expansion. Then what I'm doing is changing the timetables of all the trains a bit, because now that there is faster loading than there is unloading, they want to be spending less time at the loading area and more time at the unloading area. So they now spend, rather than 30 seconds at each station, they spend 20 seconds at Megacopper 1 and 30 at their destination. And I've done the same thing for the train that goes to the midpoint. I think I might have missed one of the trains though, because I miscounted at the time, thought there were 4 trains in play, but there are now 5, because there's 1 to the midpoint, 1 to the main base, and then 3 to the circuit outpost. Anyway, we're now going to add in yet more mining drills, see if we can, once again seeing what that does. But we're now getting extremely low on both mining drills and efficiency modules, so it looks like we're going to just reach our limit and then have to get more to make any progress. So checking the blue belt, it looks like that's fine. There's no mining drills that appear to have switched off, so we'll go and see how it gets to the triple belt. It's getting a bit full again, but it's not to the extent where we need to add in another blue belt. When we get to the end, we see that it's still not getting there. I think it's just about at times getting to the end of the line, but not in any sort of meaningful way. In fact, you can see there, because when the train wasn't present, all the chests did have copper in them, but there is very little actually getting to the end, and all the inserters on the very end of the line are seeing very little use. So we're still not quite there. Checking the power system, seeing how the accumulators run overnight, to get an idea of whether we need to add in any more. And then just as I'm doing that, we have an attack, and the power goes mental. This is the first time in a while, but a biter attack has actually occurred against the outpost, and the results are concerning. 2 gun turrets run out of ammo, and all the laser turrets shut down and stay shut down for a short while until the sun rises. So what it looks like is we need to add in more accumulators, and I guess more solar panels as well, to help with that. So we'll go over to the Megatrain and grab some supplies. We handily always keep some power equipment on us, and there is more than enough there, I think, to do the upgrades we want to do. So what I'm going to do is double up our power stuff, possibly more than double up the solar panels. I sort of lose track of how many I've added relative to how many were already there, but we'll add in 2 new squares of accumulators, so we have twice the capacity, and the hope is that that will be able to fend off attacks a bit better, because they did some serious damage. I don't think they got through any walls, but 2 guns ran out of ammo. That might be because they'd already been used a bit. There have been attacks previously, and I don't think I'd actually properly visited since the attacks, since the first attack happened. So it'll probably run out of ammo a bit, but it's still a concern. It only took a couple of attacks in the end for those to run out. So there we go, putting in our new accumulator squares, making a nice Tetris thing there. I said that weird Tetris. I don't know what I'm saying sometimes. I don't know what my own pronunciations are. Anyway, I'm just gonna quickly shift that singing along a bit. Let's another train fit in the gap, because there's quite a few cases of trains queuing right now to get into the station, because there's 5 different trains that want to go there. I might have to do something about that, really. I would put in some parking space, but I've literally just built a siding for the Megatrain that fills in the space I could use for that. Potentially I could have 2 loading bays, that is possible, but at the moment it doesn't seem like it's necessary. At the moment anyway, the current loading bay isn't getting loaded quick enough. If we had enough that the loading bay was filling up, then it might make sense to have a second one, so that there'd be less trains blocking the routes, because while they're blocking the route, any trains trying to get to the midpoint can't get there. Anyway, we've done what we can now in terms of mining drills. We've used up all the efficiency modules that we have handy, so if we want to get any more, we'll have to go back to the main base and resupply. So I decided to do a bit of flooring, but I quickly find out that 500 concrete is nothing, and I barely managed to line 1 wall. So if we want to do some proper flooring over here, we're going to have to bring a lot more concrete, like ridiculous amounts. I'm talking like an inventory full and then a couple of cargo wagons full as well. I may bring along a concrete train, because we want to floor the midpoint as well. I mean, we want to floor the main base. I haven't actually done that yet. I've just not really got round to it. I've just been messing about with flooring on other saves I've been playing that you haven't been seeing. Well, you have some of them you have been seeing. But yeah, I need to do more flooring stuff. I've sort of forgotten about it. Anyway, we're going to go retaliate. We're going to go push back the biters, because clearly they've advanced too far, and they're now trying to settle Megacopper 1, which is no good. So I equip my power suit, and we'll go in. Of course, this is no easy task with the behemoth biters, but we'll do what we can. Just deploy tons of destroyer drones. Very quickly sort of learn my lesson, or I guess relearn my lessons about dealing with behemoth biters. You can't just run in anymore. I just call them behemoth biters. You can't just run into the middle of the base quite often, because there's just too many of them. Especially with the spitters, if you let them build up, they can just start tearing through your health at ridiculous rates, even if there aren't any behemoth biters around. So we're going to push them back, make sure that if they do any colonization, it doesn't get them all the way to Megacopper 1. Though I'm really not liking the battling anymore. I'm very concerned about trying to get round the lake. I'm worried that it's not possible at this point. I mean, I can deploy more bots. I'm yet to reach my bot limit in any particular battle, but it's just insane. Some of the bases out there, I remember them from my first trip around the lake. They're just insane. They're huge and terrifying, and I wouldn't even dare deal with them. I barely dared to deal with them back when biters were easy at this stage in the game. But we've done a decent job. We've pushed them back a fair bit, and we shouldn't have any more trouble for a while in Megacopper 1. The only worry is that the pollution expands out too much, because there's still time for that to happen. We've only just put in some of the mining drills, so there might still be a bit of a ripple effect going on, and the pollution may advance further. But there are some fairly dense forests that I'm currently shotgunning my way through that should hopefully block most of the pollution. I also had a quick check on the map there to see what the pollution was like back in the main base, because with my work on the oil outpost, things have gone a bit mental with pollution generation, and there's just this huge cloud going out in every direction over the lake and through the main base, and it is a bit of a worry. I have to keep an eye on that, because if it gets too big, we're going to start to have some serious trouble with the biters. Anyway, I'm going to work a bit on the rail system. Well, like a very short bit. Basically, I add in 2 signals and switch 1 signal with a chain signal. And what this means is that there will be a bit less interference between the two line system and the 1 line system. It shouldn't make too much of a difference, because usually when a train is in that area, they're passing through anyway, and so they won't be there long. But it's a bit of a proof of concept, if anything. If no jams happen, it means it's worked. Because I've set up a system in between the 2 chain signals, which can allow 2 trains to just come and to meet each other and get stuck. But because of the chain signals, the train shouldn't enter the blocks in the first place, or they'll only enter only 1 train will enter the block, and the other trains won't until there's space. So that's probably fine. We'll see how that happens. If everything shuts down in the midpoint, then we know why. But anyway, I'm going to go home now. This wasn't my original plan. I was going, the Megacopper 1 was supposed to just be a stop-off point before I went to the midpoint, but I used up so many supplies there that I've decided to return home. While I'm on my way, I also mess about with my inventory, sticking a bunch of stuff in the trash slots. I had a power suit in there, a piece of modular armor that I just left in there. I don't know why it was still there, and I should have got rid of it long ago, but I've done that now, and I'm back to check on how my work in Megacopper 1 has affected the main base. See what the electronic circuit production is like. And conveniently, along comes the train that delivers iron to the circuit outpost, so we can get right over there and have a look at what's going on. Straight away, I see the belts are full, both of iron and copper ore. It's a very good sign. The trains are all arriving with a lot in them. They're unloading well. They're arriving in both of the stations. We have a power failure, though, probably to do with the bots getting a bit excited with me arriving home, doing a lot of moving things about with the train and me. Also, you may have spotted there that there was some ammo on the copper lines, and this confused me for a minute, because how on earth could ammo end up being unloaded there? Until I realised that with 0.12, of course, the turrets expanded, and 2 of them expanded to overlap 2 of the copper chests, meaning that instead of copper being unloaded, ammo started being unloaded into the system. So I've cleared that away now, and the turrets have been moved. They were already moved previously because they were blocking other things. And I've examined the situation with copper production, and I realised that the ratio is wrong. The reason the ratio is wrong is because I specifically made it wrong when we were having some trouble with iron. There didn't seem to be enough iron coming through, even though there was enough iron ore. But the copper lines were completely backed up. So I added in some more furnaces for smelting the iron and didn't add in any counterparts for copper. The only thing is I sort of didn't realise how much of a difference I was making, because I now needed to put in 12 new copper furnaces, which is quite a lot. Really, I shouldn't have made that much of a difference between the ratios, but I fixed it now, which may mean that the iron runs down again, I'm not sure, but either way it's an improvement. It's increasing the rate of copper going into the system. We've got it all powered, we've got it all moduled, and we can have a quick look at how it goes. It pretty much gets to the end of the third set of circuit assembler things, so that's good. It's still not filling it up entirely, but we'll wait and see. It might improve yet. But anyway, we've taken the train back to the main base now to check up on things there. Modules have gone well, and in fact I think the speed module production finished, though the level 3 productivity modules are still being made. But what I've decided to do is put another 50 alien artifacts into each of those assemblers, setting everything off again and breaking everything, because I want more modules. We want to make sure we have plenty to try and work with the oil system, because it's still not perfect. As you can see, there are still gaps where there should be advanced circuits, but things are going generally better, apart from that catastrophic power failure that has once again occurred. We'll see about fixing that. We'll add in some solar panels to see what work we can do with there, though I don't really check it, the nature of the error properly, and just put in some solar panels without checking if the problem is actually accumulated or anything like that. But yes, my addition of the extra assembler for making speed module level 1s seemed to be a good idea, because the rocket production is once again running, and we're now 22% of the way towards a rocket launch. So that's good. We're making definite progress, and it shouldn't be too long before that rocket is ready. Anyway, checking up on the backup power system. Still not brilliant. There are many ways I could improve it, but I'm just keeping. I can't be bothered changing it. I want to get back to the midpoint really and get on with the work that I was intending to do over there. There's all sorts of things, including lots and lots of flooring, and also looking towards actually going around the lake again. Because this has gone on longer than I expected. I'm entirely happy that that's the case. But yes, we do need to actually get on with going around the lake at some point. Anyway, looking at the plastic, it's improved a little bit. It's actually built up for a second on the advanced circuit, so it only does that when a new wave of plastic has just come through. But it is an improvement. We didn't have any getting to the end of the line previously. So, you know, we're getting there. We're making progress. And at the end of the day, the production rates are insane, at least for sort of my standards. I know some people have insane bases where they have 200 advanced circuit assemblers and crazy things like that. I'm not quite on that scale. My definition of insane can be somewhat different. But we're going to go up to oil outpost 1 here, because we want to upgrade more of the pump jacks. I'm still not happy with it. Looking at it, it looks like the plastic assemblers are barely going any faster, and I guess they are going faster only a tiny bit. So we'll continue to double up some of the pump jacks. The only thing is, oil outpost 1 has in fact not been operating. I'm not sure how long it's been like this, but no oil has actually been barreled in here, as far as I can tell, for quite a while. So I make some new barrels, stick them in, and we immediately get tons of oil coming through, which is good. And when the train gets back, it'll have a huge delivery to take to the oil base, which should boost things very well for a while, and we may even get, just for a moment, full speed plastic production. You never know. But we get a full 30 barrels loaded in, and there's still oil being made. But yeah, the reason for this is because I have this. But it's because of the way that I deliver oil. I've got multiple trains. At the moment it's 2. At one time it was 3, but Oil Outpost 2 got destroyed and I couldn't be bothered fixing it. But yeah, the way it works is that there's sort of a pool of barrels that all trains can take from. It's supposed to stay balanced. It's supposed to be that while the train is there, all the barrels get unloaded and then put back into the train. But it doesn't quite work out that way. Indeed, it doesn't work out right in front of my eyes because there are too many barrels. But the reason for that was that the outpost was shut down and all the pipes were full. Now that they're not, the deliveries will be a bit slowed down again. So there'll only be like 10 barrels at a time. But that's still a lot better than it used to be. Well, it used to be 0, but even before then it wasn't brilliant. So yeah, we can leave that to do what it's doing. When those 30 barrels turned up, it went quite well. We ended up with the main storage of oil filling up to 150, which is excellent. That's been a huge help. But anyway, we're coming to the end now. I'm just having a quick check of modules again. All seems to be working fine. And next episode, we'll go back to the midpoint. So I shall say goodbye. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time.